Oh, does anybody actually have a real opening joke?
I do.
Ooh.
So, Spencer knows this, but I will fill the rest of the world in. I would say 2 years ago, I bought a box set of the Witcher books. Cheap. And I didn't do my homework. And got it in and was all excited because I get to read The Witcher and actually read a couple, but then I lent the whole freaking box to Spencer and he burned through it in like a week or so. Got it back. And I only then did my homework and realized there's one book missing from this box set.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, that's weird. Maybe they printed it after this box set or whatever. The problem is this box set has a dark color scheme to its binding. It's got white letters on the spine.
It's the really nice international version. It's like the only version of the books that look nice.
Yes. This missing book I can only find here in the wonderful United States of A. The only one I can find has this bright-ass red and white binding. And it's ugly. And I have been searching for the correct binding for 2 years. But finally, I gave up. I went to Bull Moose to buy the last book in the ugly binding, and I found the Holy Grail. I found the dark one with white letters, used for $4.
Wow.
My heart is so happy.
You are a true dime comic bro.
I have been
a lot.
walking on clouds like all weekend because I found this one missing book.
Oh my.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That explains a lot about your attitude.
I honestly did not think they printed it in this international binding because I looked everywhere. I was looking on eBay, like willing to drop some coin for a matching binding. And I couldn't find it.
So you were willing to toss a coin to your Witcher. It's relevant to this episode too, so that helps. It's on topic. You should clip chip the actual song and then just shove it in there, and then you can shove it into the theme song. You know what I'm saying? You can.
Oh, we'll see.
Nope.
Let the reference be a reference instead of holding people's
memes.
No!
I like holding people's hands.
It needs to be subtle sometimes.
Being subtle is not my forte.
Well, speaking of not being subtle, ladies and gentlemen, about 20 minutes ago, Colin was out of the room to talk to somebody on the phone. And I had this great idea. And then he went and took a shit. And he came back into the room. And he's been sitting here for about 45 minutes. Not realizing that Spencer and I are sitting in here in just our undies.
Wait, what? What the?
You're so oblivious.
I thought you guys were just wearing shorts. I don't know what clothes you guys wear. I just expect you guys to wear clothes. I trust you. I don't look at you all the time.
You're such a naive.
Put on pants, Spencer!
No, I refuse.
I like how you guys kept that for the longest time.
Oh,
you kept that for such a long time.
Oh, dude, you're so dumb. That was great. That was Jacob's idea too. He wasn't lying. What? He's just like, what if we don't wear pants? I'm like, that's gay. Okay.
you went along with it.
Of course I did.
I expected you to walk in and be like, what the f***? And then rip your pants off.
Instead, I just come in and I just sit down with you guys like nothing's wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with the situation. Even if you guys just normally did that, I would have been like, okay. I don't know.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
Welcome back to the Dime Comic Bros podcast. If Colin had followed along with the joke, this would be a new episode of 3 Nude News Dudes, but he's a peasant and doesn't find life funny.
Oh, shut the f*** up. I'll take my pants off right now.
I'm sure you will. Cheese and crow. So, shall we jump into the news, although
Head
we are
first.
not... Ooh, head first. Into the deep end? Or into the shallow end head
Penis first.
Belly flop? Ow.
No,
Belly
cross
flop
flop.
with a boner.
Ooh,
Spear.
that would work.
Spear of truth.
So, we got a new trailer, a full trailer for Marvel's What If. I don't like the animation style
Me
at all.
either.
Really?
It reminds me of something that I watched when I was younger, which I had an appreciation for because it was very of the time, being MTV's Spider-Man series. But I don't like this sort of animation. We're in 2020. It seems very lazy, to be honest.
I thought it kind of looked like a scanner darkly, which I think uses, Colin, help me, rotoscope?
You're going in territory I have not tread.
Yes, I think you're right. I hate rotoscoping.
Yeah, well, in that movie it looked ugly. In the trailer, I kind of liked it. I was kind of down for it.
On like a still image, I think it looks nice, but in motion, it looks really yeah.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I'm actually really excited for this.
I am too.
I'm also glad we'll be covering it. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, we are?
Yes. we're gonna kiss
replacing
Disney.
Loki.
Yeah.
Because there's literally gonna be something from Lord Overlord Mickey every single week until we die.
Yes.
Actually?
Pretty much.
And that helps us
Content.
have less
Damn.
personal reviews.
That's good.
So
Right.
it helps you.
helps
Yeah.
me. I noticed that the trailer had a lot of Yondu, which is fine. It just had a lot of him. It's just a simple statement.
No, definitely strong agree. I remember when this was announced, my thought was, oh, they'll all be like one-off episodes, but it looks like they're all in different universes, but I think this is going to end up in like a crossover. Like they're going to all come together and they're going to make their own weird
Yep.
interdimensional Avengers team, and that actually makes me kind of excited for what the overall narrative is.
Really. Because
know.
you're the one always bitching about multiverse shit.
But not when it crosses into main continuity. When it's exclusively, what if all these other worlds fought this other world thing? That's fine. But when it's when it's these mainline characters and then there's 3 other people from random universes, I can't
Right.
stand that sort of stuff. But when it's like all of them are just coming together from these like, I don't know, like 6 or 8 different dimensions or worlds and they're all gonna fight the same thing, that's fine. That's why I love Spider-Verse. It's all of them are from different places.
I really like the characters that they teased. They're just really good what if questions.
Yes. What if zombies?
What if Peggy Carter was Captain America?
Yes.
What if it was the Guardians of the Galaxy instead of the Avengers at the end of that movie or whatever? Like, it's just really good questions, things I hadn't come up with.
Yeah,
I
that
definitely came up with other questions, but
That Gamora is wearing Thanos' armor, so that's pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah. And also Spider-Man, but Doctor Strange.
Yep.
But Spider-Man.
Yep.
Very excited
I
for
like that.
I'm looking forward to that.
yes.
So do we think this is going to have any actual ramifications on the MCU, or is this going to be like it's technically canonical, but it's just out there?
I think it's just on its own thing.
That's
It's
what I'm
probably
thinking.
just its own thing
And I
that
also,
TVA didn't touch.
I'm also really hoping that that's what it is, because then it'll be cross-media, and that's going to be really weird.
Colin is correct. This is just files from the deleted folder on a TVA computer.
Yes.
True. Yes.
That would make sense.
Well, would it?
It was your idea.
No, it wasn't. You expanded on that.
The first trailer for The Witcher Season 2, releasing December 17th, exclusively on Netflix, was released.
Big hype.
Big hype.
It looks so much better than the first season.
It looks the same as the first season.
It
Really?
looks
Except for
like
what's her face is older.
It looks like the same promotional style.
Yes, which I did like their promotions, to be honest.
In hindsight, I like it. But before we watched Season 1, I didn't like it because it's like, look, Game of Thrones! It's knockoff Game of Thrones.
I do remember that. That's fair.
So, it is good quality, it's just Game of Thrones-y.
That's true.
And it kind of annoys me.
I'm looking for, I don't know, there's something about the, there's something a little bit better about like the cinematography and the color grading that's tickling my fancy. It's pretty clear that the delay that they had to go through because of COVID was kind of apparent in terms of like age.
Yep.
Series like 20 now. But I'm looking forward to this. I like how much better Geralt's, Witcher vision looks. Like and his eyes do the thing. It looks a lot better than it did previous, and usually those like little things that you see a lot are good indicators of the quality of like the visual effects or
I
whatever.
didn't even notice there was a change. It looked the same to me.
Yeah,
But I haven't seen it the first season in a while, so.
true. I am obviously going to be rewatching it.
Me too.
It'll be fun.
Yennefer.
Yennefer. Wow.
Yennefer.
I mean, plenty of other people did, but why?
She's a bitch.
Okay.
I just can't stand her face. So we got the first teaser for The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf releasing August 23rd exclusively on Netflix, which is very much anime.
I remember when this was announced. I think we covered it. I was like, why are we doing an anime prequel? But I'm interested now.
But lately, with like the fantasy world of like the fantasy anime world that Netflix has been like diving into, they've been doing pretty good job. Like especially with like the video game like animes.
Yes.
Because like Castlevania
slaps really hard.
really hard.
It was,
Wait. You relate with Alucard, don't you?
Shut up.
It was kind of funny because we watched the trailer for season 2, and then we watched the trailer for the anime one, and pretty much the whole time Colin was like, it's anime, it's anime.
Yes.
So, yes.
That's very true. Colin was a little hard. By little hard, I mean very hard.
Yes.
He's very little.
And hard.
And little.
Yes. And then our last piece of news from Marvel.com. The final saga of Doctor Strange is upon us. This September, the Marvel Universe will lose its Sorcerer Supreme in Death of Doctor Strange, all caps. That's going to be an ongoing joke for a long time now, I suppose. A new limited series written by Jed McKay with art by Lee Garbett. This startling story will not only dive into the mystery behind Doctor Strange's demise, but also explore the major impact his death will have on the Earth that he so fiercely protected from countless mystical threats. In addition to the main series, Death of Doctor Strange, all caps, will also spin out into pulse-pounding tie-ins that deal with the ramifications from the loss of one of Marvel's most vital heroes. The first cover they released for this is honestly a little bit of a tearjerker. Like, his coffin is wrapped up in the cloak of levitation.
Oof.
It looks like a big oof.
Yikes.
I wonder if he's gonna stay dead. Like,
Of course not.
well, we've been seeing a trend in both publishers of people actually staying dead for a long time these days. Like,
For a long time.
if not actually staying dead. Just saying, that random thing I talked about DC is getting more and more apparent by the day. It's right, and I think Marvel's doing the same thing. Do you have any thoughts, Colin, at all?
No thought. Don't even know 1, 2, 3. Not know ABCs.
Okay. Well, speaking of staying dead in DC, let us talk about The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Because I'm pretty sure all three of us
Would like to get this
wished
over with.
death upon ourselves as we read this for this week.
The Dark Knight Strikes Again, also known as DK2, is a 2001 to 2002 DC Comics 3-issue limited series comic book written and illustrated by Frank Miller and colored by Lynn Varley, featuring the fictional superhero of Batman. Holy cow! The series is a sequel to Miller's 1986 miniseries The Dark Knight Returns. It tells the story of an aging Bruce Wayne who returns from 3 years in hiding, training his followers and instigating a rebellion against Lex Luthor's dictatorial rule over the United States. The series features an ensemble cast of superheroes including Catgirl, Superman, Wonder Woman, Plastic Man, The Flash, and The Atom. So real brief actual plot summary. Apparently, Bruce Wayne has been dead for 3 years in canon.
Yes. Well, he faked his death at the end
Yes.
of Dark Knight.
Correct. And then the world's gotten worse, but apparently it's been like this for like a decade or whatever. Lex Luthor looks like Kingpin, and he and Brainiac are ruling over basically all of Earth, and they have Kandor from Krypton shoved in a glass tube, like Brainiac always does. And that's how they're holding power over Superman and making him a pawn, kind of. But also, superheroes are all outlawed, so they're all kind of cucks for like the government. They're all hiding in the shadows and not really doing anything. And then Batman and his followers recruit a few heroes, some of which are imprisoned or like trapped other places, and then they do an uprising. And it's garbage. It's like hot, flaming garbage.
Why Catgirl? Why couldn't she just be Robin still?
That is a very good question, because in literally the next book in this series,
She goes Batgirl.
she goes to Batgirl, and she's Batgirl for the rest of the series. And I really liked that development.
Yeah,
personally.
that makes sense.
But like, yeah, she just is she looks like Cheetah, but she wears roller skates and she's in a leotard, and she's 16, and that's weird.
They overdid the like cloak the aces and like that stupid dialogue. Like, it was fine with that like futuristic lingo in the Dark Knight, but like it overdid it in like the first panels.
It feels
with
like
her.
a 60-year-old man trying to write 15-year-olds, but from 30 years ago. Because this book is 25 years after the original book. This
Holy
book was written in
shit.
2001.
Holy shit!
Sorry, that's actually 15 years. I'm stupid. This book is 15 years after the original
Yeah, that
release.
didn't make sense.
And Frank Miller is an older fellow by that time, and he's writing for like children, but he's writing in the same style he was writing in the 80s. The dialogue in this book is one of the most egregious things I've ever read in my life. All the characters talk the same and talk horrible. None of their it's barely coherent dialogue. And half the time, you can't tell if it's voiceover or dialogue, and you can't tell who's saying what.
Mm-hmm.
I read this book not too long ago, and had to hit up the YouTubes because I did not remember a single thing that happened in this book. It's so muddy and indirect. I only learned the story this week doing research about this book because I couldn't find it in the book.
Why is Lex Luthor Kingpin?
Also, you say the writing is the most egregious thing of this book. I counter with the artwork, or lack thereof, in terms of work. You can say it's art. It is not artwork.
That's fair. I always bounce back and forth between like a good comic can be saved by like a poorly written comic can be saved by good art, and then vice versa. I don't really know which one's true, because I've read a lot of things with atrocious dialogue and like horrible writing, but they look cool, and I still can't really read them. But I can deal with mediocre art if the story's at least okay. But this is not mediocre art. This is
awful.
Genuinely a crackhead who has zero artistic experience could probably write a cooler looking could draw a cooler looking Batman than this.
Yep.
Yes.
This is disgusting.
Why is everyone so mangled looking?
That is a really good way to put it. Everyone looks like they were literally thrown into a blender, and I think the biggest problem comes from how the inking is done. Because if you look in the back of the book, where all the concepts are, some of the designs aren't horrible. I don't like them, but you can see the thought that went into them. The pencil sketches look like Frank Miller did pencil sketches, kind of like he did in the 80s and 90s. But as soon as he started putting ink on them, it looks like he took a crayon and just drew over all of his pencils with the thickest, blandest lines possible. Mm-hmm. And it takes all nuance and curvature and shape and shading out of what he's doing.
And I would like to describe how you were just using that crayon around the microphone. It wasn't he grabbed a crayon, he fisted a crayon. He's like holding it at the bottom of his fist and is using his elbow to draw.
Yeah, like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Just stomping it into the paper and scribbling.
Artwork, awful, just absolutely horrendous. It's like, so there's a thing in the art community where we like making jokes where it's like, the sketch work, it's beautiful, it's like, it's something of magnificent rapport, whatever you want to say, and then the line art's like, because for some reason, sometimes like going from sketch to line art, it's just like, what the happened? It's because if you are an artist who draw with a lot of lines, like you're not really confident with your like just one line in your drawings, and like you kind of go over it a little bit more. You basically, your brain like subconsciously picks which line looks the most aesthetically pleasing, but for some reason, while you're like trying to ink it, you choose the thing that stands out the most, or you choose whatever's the most solid lines rather than what's the most pleasing lines.
Yeah.
So the finished work comes out shitty. And that's why you, as an artist, you need to be okay with not connecting certain lines and leaving them open every now and then.
Yes, because I think the thing with this that bothers me the most, I am not good at most forms of art, particularly drawing. I'm just not. Dude, I swear, he takes the ink, he starts at one side of their head, he draws across the face, he does the head, he never picks the thing up at all. It's almost entirely, especially for characters, one big continuous line with no details, nothing. It's just an outline. And then the colorist has to make do with that. And it's really weird.
Well, I mean, that can look good.
Maybe. Sometimes.
It can look good, but for the type of story that's being told, it is not, because it's not like, oh, we're looking at a like up person's perspective, or we're looking at someone with looking through the eyes of someone who has like Alzheimer's. It's like, it's just normal. It's just like we're just being showed a normal story, and we have this type of line work. Like, why? Also, why is Flash's suit black and yellow, and all we get for a reason is because it was old, you needed a new one? And Kryptonite, are they solid Kryptonite gauntlets?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yep.
So, just for, I don't know if you want to clip this out or not, but like, so we have like what Frank Miller did previous, in his previous work.
Oh, yeah.
It's very Frank Miller. I don't always like what he does, but like, whatever. And this is one of arguably the best panels we have in the entire book, and it's still the most simple, scribbled on crap. It just doesn't look as mangled as the rest of the book.
That's because the color is actually decent.
Yeah. I think that's actually a fan recolor.
So this is an instance where over time an artist's art style changes for the better or for worse. Miller for the worse, Mike Mignola for the best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting a sexual noise there.
Good. I haven't done it in a while. For better or for worse, Miller's art style got worse, and it just got simple, but not simple to the point where he's focusing on dynamics and shapes. It's just simple to get a quick buck, or just to like say "f*** you" to his fans.
Genuinely, it looks like a 12-year-old with very little artistic talent who's like in middle school could put together this book, and we'd go, eh. Maybe,
Good try.
Maybe, yeah, good try. You're in middle school. Like, it's difficult to not directly insult one of comics' legendary artists and writers.
What's wrong with insulting him?
I'm gonna get there.
I have no problem.
No duh. You have no problem with anyone, but that's why we will not let you do the social networking, because then we will not be able to go anywhere in life.
You.
True.
Eat my ass!
The formatting, just to stay with the art, the formatting of how the scenes move is disgusting. So we have what Miller started doing in The Dark Knight Returns, which most of us really liked, was using like intersplicing news footage and stuff, and like interviews and whatever. Mm-hmm. This book is 30% plastered in just random people going, "Oh my god! Oh, it's Superman! Oh my gosh, they're hot! Look at the booba!" That's all this book is. It's coated in just disgusting amounts of random people with no addition to the narrative, who are all some of the most disgustingly cartoonish things I've seen in my life. It's just, there's no formatting. There's no transitions. There are like 4 scenes happening at once in 4 different locations with no transition or indication what's going on where. You get like one panel here, one panel here, one panel here, and then just rotates through instead of any motion or action or anything you can follow. It's just it hurts your head. You can't follow what's going on because the panels don't even show motion in any sense.
It's usually like a fist, and then a face, and then a cape, and then another fist.
But the thing is, yes, But the thing is, every single one of those is in a different scene on a different part of the planet.
Right.
And there's no cohesiveness to it at all.
Yes. Speaking of shameless inclusions, you have a lot of political bullshittery in this for reasons.
So this is something I actually did want to dive into. Yeah, I know. Spencer's getting excited about politics.
I would like to name the Freedom from Information Act and the shameless, what did you call it, hat tip towards 9/11 or...
Yes. So one of the things I think is the most like genuinely gross about this book is in the middle of it being made, 9/11 happened. And then in the middle of book 2, freaking city gets nuked essentially. And half the book is spent in the rubble for no reason. It's very clearly just 9/11 sad. And it has no part. It's gross. It's just, look, it's a thing that happened. I made it happen in the book and Superman is under rubble. It's just disgusting. And also that entire random nonsense plot makes Shazam die. It's gross. And that's the thing. I think the best way to view this in any sort of logical manner is to remember external facts, like the fact that this is, as far as I'm able to tell, when Frank Miller was dealing with his worst bouts of alcoholism, and also his most public, not so wonderful moments. He's backtracked a lot of crappy stuff he was doing around this time period, like in terms of like interviews and whatever, because his views aren't really coherent in terms of whether it be politics or like the theming of this book, even in compared to his other books. You can't really tell what Frank Miller believes or anything, and the book really demonstrates that, because you have all these characters who believe really different things, most of which betraying their own values, but not in like a meaningful manner where it's meant to exemplify a theme or a point or whatever. And then they just kind of argue and stuff, and it's weird, because Frank Miller is definitely not like, he's very anti-fascist, but also he like worships power. It's so weird, but also he makes fun of people that in this universe that are anti-fascist and also fascist. It's so weird.
It felt to me like a lot of these things were just included to make the book seem relevant, because that's what was in the news at the time. But it just makes it a joke.
Yeah, because there's no purpose to it at all.
Yep, it doesn't do anything. It's just included. That's it.
Really nasty. And then on that note, the way that this book treats female characters is disgusting. I know, I'm white knighting for crap again, but like, genuinely, this book makes me feel gross.
Yep.
Because it's on that note of like, look, media's really sexual now. So the entirety of this book is just covered in what if basically every single female superhero was also a hooker. Literally, they're all hookers. They're all doing like TV sex ads and whatever. And it's just randomly plastered throughout the book with and the very few actual female heroes are also disgustingly sexualized and objectified, but not in like remotely cool ways. Carrie Kelly is 16 and she's put in a leotard and she looks like a cat girl. Her name is Catgirl. What the hell? And then Wonder Woman is reduced to a literal object who does nothing in terms of relevance. She has no character. She has nothing. It's just, I am here for Superman to super nut in me.
And that's 6 pages.
Yeah.
6 full pages.
Okay, to be fair, the concept of a sex scene in space isn't the worst thing.
No, but when you have action scenes that are put into a 1 page that have 5 squares by 4 squares, so you have 20 little frames on a single page to try to fit a fight scene into, and then you have an intergalactic sex scene for 6 full pages. Where are your priorities, man?
So weird, and it's just, I genuinely don't understand. I really don't. When it comes to, particularly in Wonder Woman, why are Wonder Woman and Superman together?
Because I hate that.
Super sex.
Yes, but like, I don't always hate that pairing. I don't like it, but I can see why you'd want to write for it at some points or whatever. Like, but Lois Lane dies in this book and Superman's sad about it? So like, they were in a relationship.
Wait,
maybe?
Lois Lane was in this book?
No, it's
Oh,
only
okay.
a little locket that he found in the rubble of 9/11.
Gotcha.
It's why? Is it just so? Is
so
it
it was super makeup sex.
probably? I don't know.
Ow.
Super pity sex.
Uh,
Yeah!
Well, I mean,
Yeah!
in the context of the story, Lex Luthor and Brainiac literally are like, yes, Wonder Woman, go Superman so he has, like, energy again. Absolutely demented. And then he does. It's like, she literally is like, oh, look, you're bloodied within an inch of your life. Let me hit you and then scream about how much you don't want to dom me right now. Like, what the is this?
You also pointed out, and I couldn't believe I hadn't noticed it before, this basically isn't a Batman book.
Yeah.
This is a Justice League book, but it has
Sort of.
no setup or connection to this universe, so we don't know why. This isn't like say like a Kingdom Come, where it's a what if these heroes are already getting old, they're retiring.
Right.
That book sets up its own universe and premise extremely well.
This book starts the way the last one ended, with Batman and Superman fighting for no reason.
Yeah, again.
Again.
It's like, but why? You can sense in The Dark Knight Returns, like a bit of history. You can tell
Right.
there was a Justice League and whatever. We don't know what happened. It's not super relevant to that story. This book goes, this is the plot now, but also doesn't give a crap enough to set it up or explain anything. So we have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Atom, the Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, the Question, Green Arrow, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Catgirl,
Supergirl.
Supergirl, another Supergirl, and those are just the primary ones. Oh, and Shazam. And those are just the big ones.
Kingpin.
Not Kingpin. Wrong universe.
No, it's Kingpin.
Someone needs to remind Frank Miller that this is not that universe. Like,
Why
so
was
all these-
why was Kingpin so scared of Green Lantern again?
Because he's big,
big?
and he's in space. That in particular has zero explanation to why, like, Hal Jordan's, like, God tier for some reason.
Also, it doesn't
Why?
make sense as to why he was so afraid if he had like everything under control.
It
Like,
just,
what does this change, if anything, other than being big?
on a base concept of what if following The Dark Knight Returns, where Batman comes back, he starts the resistance, Superman it acknowledges what's happening and goes, I can respect that, and then you don't know where Superman's going to go with that in the future. I can understand wanting to do like a worldwide resistance against whatever's I can get that as a concept, and I don't hate it. And
Yep.
especially how that would essentially become a metahuman civil war, basically, because you have people who are either under the thumb of the people in charge, or they're being manipulated, or they somehow do genuinely believe what they're doing is right or whatever. So you have the select few of Superman, Wonder Woman, Shazam, and I think there was one other one that was with them. But like, there's a couple of people left, and then everybody else is with Batman because they're all getting rescued from the Flash being in a hamster wheel to generate electricity and like whatever else. That concept isn't horrible, but there's also 5 other plots going on, and every single one I can see value in.
In the last book, when we're talking about all the other superheroes and how they retired, Superman was talking about how Green Arrow and like ended so poorly because he got his arm lasered off pretty much, or it's implied that it happened. But
Also, he has his arm again in this book.
Yeah. So,
What the
So Superman talks about like how he makes it seem that everyone just retired, and just except only maybe like 2 guys said this, which was like Green Arrow. But then we see this book, and it's like, oh no, the Flash is being this way, Atom is this way, and Plastic Man is.
Oh yeah,
like,
we got Plastic Man and Elongated Man too.
Yeah.
Why are there 15 main characters in a Batman book?
Mm-hmm. And like, and then we get Elastic Man, in Arkham Asylum or whatever. And
That's a good point. Apparently, Arkham Asylum was taken over 5 years before the events of this book, and they literally just let the inmates turn into absolute deformed cannibals, which isn't a horrible concept, which means that took place before The Dark Knight Returns, and Batman didn't care. So they're retconning a good book. What the hell? Arkham Asylum, during the period of The Dark Knight Returns, was taken over by all those inmates. Yes.
Okay.
No.
I was stuck on the game.
Wait, what book are you talking about? Which one?
During The Dark Knight Returns,
Yes.
we take all these books as one cohesive universe, during the events of The Dark Knight Returns, Arkham Asylum was already taken over by all the inmates, and they had already turned into like cannibalistic monsters.
Where do you get this information?
In this book, it says 5 years ago the inmates took over the asylum. This book takes place 3 years after The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, so where was he? What the
Well, Frank Miller was busy being drunk to pay attention to his own books.
Yeah.
But in reality, it means that Batman didn't really care. That the two that we're noticing, that I noticed, that we like get dialogue for, is we got Solomon Grundy and the Riddler. They're just cannibalistic monsters now. And they break into Arkham Asylum for 3 seconds to get out Plastic Man, and that's it. We get like 2 panels. So many cool concepts, and they're all atrocious. Like, we have that. We have the idea of Wonder Woman and Superman having a kid, that is a very big plot point moving forward in this universe, because she's like triple S tier power, God everything.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, seriously. And we have the later plot of a Robin.
I like that.
The one thing in this book I don't despise, with the idea of like Robin, the first Robin, Dick Grayson, who got fired in this universe.
Just literally got fired.
Which, to be fair, in main continuity, he was originally like kind of fired. So it's kind of based in that, but not the same. He got fired because he was incompetent, whatever. And then he gets gene therapy and he turns into this weird mutating Joker clone. It's done atrociously, but the idea of a Robin going evil and being a Joker, not just like being a Red Hood, I find cool. I like that. That's what the plot of this book should have been. An actual Batman story related to Batman having decades of history in Gotham. Not
Justice
whatever the else we got. This is 8 books. Sorry, 12 books. Infinite books. There's so many things shoved into this, it's disgusting. It makes me so angry, because the couple of things in that, in those panels of, like, at the end, in the Batcave of Batman, you know, like him fighting Robin and whatever, and Robin's like, I loved you, and then Batman, it's Batman being like, you were supposed to be a soldier, you weren't supposed to be my son. And
I have the high ground, Anakin.
Literally. Over a volcano. Mm-hmm. I don't hate that.
Of course you don't.
Batcave being over a volcano is kind of cool. But like,
why did he bring the T-Rex and the penny with him? I thought everything burned down. What the
Yeah, like the idea of Carrie Kelly becoming a replacement because, you know, like, and then this Robin wanting revenge on Batman because he's like, no, he loves you and he doesn't love me. Like, I get that. That's a cool concept. Where did it go? We had like 2 teases in the earlier parts of the book and then part of the finale. And it's the last thing in the finale that happens. It is the ultimate climax of the book. That is no setup, really. And it's like Return of the King. So you know how everyone hates the fact that Return of the King has a bajillion endings? You're wrong and dumb and you don't understand film if you do. Just saying. But the point being, the plot ends when the ring is destroyed in Mount Doom.
Yep.
The story of the character progression does not end until Frodo goes to the Undying Lands. We need those other endings of watching the Fellowship get wrapped up, of Aragorn being crowned king,
Sam
of them
getting married and having kids and being happy like an ultimate Chad.
Yes, because Sam is a Chad.
Yes.
You need that to happen to show that Frodo isn't happy in Middle-earth. He's been damaged beyond repair. He needs to go to the Undying Land. That's a story point, not a plot point. It's required. This book, the plot, the big stuff, ends when Supergirl 2, I guess, the child Supergirl, wrecks the crap out of Brainiac, and that ends. That's the plot ending, and then the story is Batman wrapping up with this Robin, but that has no thematic meaning to it because it has nothing to do with the rest of the book in any sense at all. This book isn't about Batman reconciling with his past and the fact that he's literally raised child soldiers like an abusive piece of garbage. It's about aliens and
it's about anything that came into mind and then was just handled poorly. It's
hurt.
just a series of unfortunate events. That's all it is. It's like, ooh, interesting plot point, and it's gone.
And there's maybe a total of what? Maybe 15 panels in total that are like kind of acceptable. Maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
There's a handful you're like, that's not the worst thing I've seen.
A handful is 5.
I can accept that. It's just under a half dozen.
I only have 4 fingers.
That's cool.
You only got one nut.
This is true.
Well,
So speaking of quality, Loki episode 5 was this past week, and I believe I ended our section last week with Jacob and I talking about, I have no idea where this episode's going to be going, because this is the area of the Marvel Universe I honestly know like nothing about. This was really cool, to be honest. I'm very pleased with where this went.
I really liked it. Classic Loki.
So, plot summary-ish. So we go to...
Thanos copter.
We go to the Void, which is apparently beyond where time ends, because time isn't done being written yet. So this Void beyond, we have this actual poop cloud, who canonically in comics is a poop cloud, which is pretty cool. Eliath, who's just this time smoke dragon thing, just eats stuff. That's cool. So like this is just where all the TVA's junk gets sent. So we get Mobius is not dead, which is pretty freaking sweet.
Based.
Loki is also not dead. Loki teams up with other Lokis. We have asshole Loki. They call him boastful Loki, but he's really an asshole. And we have classic Loki, and then we have Child, and we have Alligator, who may or may not be a Loki. I like that ongoing
He
joke.
could be with Throg.
Yes, we get Throg was referenced in this stuff. I did not see that one coming at all.
Thor Frog.
Dude, that was great.
Did you notice
I
that?
think I slept through it. I saw it referenced online. I was like, what? I missed
When they
Throg?
went down into the bunker, it was just like in the dirt. He's just bouncing around in a cage or
He's
whatever.
like, no!
That was great. And we get the Thanos copter. One of the things that I remember when we were talking about this show getting announced was, oh, what if Loki actually survived and it's not 2012 Loki? What if he projected on with Thanos and he was actually hiding because he stabbed him with the other hand and whatever, because he like stabbed him with his left hand, then his right hand or whatever. This episode references that freaking theory because this quote-unquote classic Loki had the exact same life up until that point, but he did trick Thanos and then ran away and then lived in isolation forever and got sad and looks like he's wearing a man diaper, which is hilarious.
Yes.
Dude, the underwear on the outside is so good. I think we were all really excited for President Loki, because that looks cool, right? It's in the marketing and, oh my gosh.
I thought it was just regular Loki being something cool.
But then the person who stole the episode was freaking classic Loki, being an absolute badass.
Yes.
Potential!
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. They're going with he's got all this potential he doesn't know about. Because he's not the god of mischief, he's the god of outcasts. And I liked that. I thought that was a really nice, like, thematic point. Instead of, he's not the god of hammers, he's god of lightning.
It kind of felt all wrapped up by the end of the episode, I thought.
Kind of.
Kind of.
In terms of story progression and the characters, yes. But now we must finish the plot. It's going to be another Loki.
Finish the fight.
I thought it was pretty badass that Kid Loki killed Thor.
Dude,
I was like, whoa, out of all of them, he's the one that killed Thor?
I actually really liked Kid Loki for
Yeah,
what I
me
didn't
too.
think I was going to, because I don't usually like child actors. And
I thought he
usually
did
when it's
well.
like, it's a child, and usually it's like a 20-year-old playing a 12-year-old, and it's really awkward. This kid's actually like 14.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it. Jacob apparently didn't.
Yeah, I was
No.
surprised.
Why
He was
not?
very stiff. He just seemed like he wasn't directed very well in how to say his lines. He stutters a lot. He doesn't project his voice, which I'm guilty of. But, like, it was a very stiff performance. It felt like they took every single first shot they had of him and said, yeah, good enough.
I guess that's fair, actually.
But I mean, you could probably say the same thing about Tom Hiddleston.
He has had some kind of rough takes. The freaking hair flip is so annoying now.
Yes.
It just gets a whoosh.
Does that
Could you
all
stop?
the time.
Could you stop?
Easy, breezy, beautiful.
He does all... He doesn't change.
You're worth
There's like character progression with Loki as like his character, but not him not physically.
No.
Like his attitude doesn't change how he's like moving his body, and that's a problem for me.
Really?
I feel like yes, because he's just moving his body in such a like he's just being very secondary character while also being the main character. He's just being secondary.
I
it's
can
so
kind of
annoying.
understand that because it's not entirely clear whether because the main character is Sylvie. She's the important one. That's been established, but he's our POV character. So it switches back and forth, and it's not very clear between the differences in directing, but between the following of the two different characters. But speaking of those two characters, am I the only one who genuinely thinks them hanging out and flirting is the cutest shit I've ever seen?
You're just fucking gay.
That's literally the opposite.
Yes. If anything, that would be self-masturbatory.
It's still gay.
Because they'd be masturbating. It's the same thing. I love it. I don't know if it's just the chemistry is different or if it's the dialogue, but they're absolutely freaking adorable and I like it. Leave me alone. Bite me.
You know who else is adorable?
The alligator?
The alligator.
Dude.
I called it from the still image, and I loved the alligator this episode.
Oh, it's so good. So, the question continuously presented in this episode is the alligator actually a Loki? And I think we need to discuss. Is the alligator a Loki?
Absolutely.
He's probably
There's no
Thor.
question.
He's probably Frog Thor's Loki.
But is he?
Yes.
Yes.
Or is classic Loki just talking for him? And he's just actually an alligator?
I think he's a Loki.
He's got the crown.
You can make one and stick it on him. They live in a wasteland. You can find all sorts of dead Lokis there, I would assume.
Yeah.
Something tells me there's a lot more Loki variants than a lot of other variants, so...
And you were so quick to not include an alligator Loki because
I'm just saying they're presenting it as a question, not as a definitive fact, and I am engaging with the question.
Okay, actually, no. I know the answer. It's secretly Mephisto hiding. Mephisto confirmed.
I thought that the ending moments with the whole, you know how to do the enchanting because you're me and I'm you and all that and, you know, potential and we can do more than we imagine. It's corny, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's this sort of very over-the-top character study that's absolutely bonkers and not afraid to be weird and also take itself seriously, but not take itself seriously. But it's sincere in its emotions of, like...
it balances out well.
It really does. I'm very impressed because this is a show on the surface. It's like, oh, it's written by the Rick and Morty guys. You know, because it is. But
Really? Harmon or whatever his name is?
Not that guy. One of the actual writers, not the creator.
Oh, gotcha.
But in actuality,
Youlean.
it's more like kind of like a better version of Doctor Who. They also reference Doctor Who multiple times in this show, which is awesome. But like, just the fact that classic Loki decided to like make this big ass distraction that was Asgard, and also he threw in little lightning bolts was super wholesome and adorable. Just little lightning bolts because he's like, yes, brother. I don't know. That's the Celtic brother with the two dots above it. You know, like the meme with the chunky cat. Mm-hmm. I require the loop brother. Yeah, no. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yes, we follow.
It was the action wise, the finale was fine, but like substance wise, I thought it was kind of cool. And Mobius just going to go literally burn the TVA to the ground is sweet.
I love that.
Big awesome.
We want a big fire.
Yes.
I like bonfires.
I found it funny when Mobius and Loki hug because they did a hug. See, they did a cringe. Men showing emotions, mega gay. When they did that, and then Sylvie's just there in the background. Like the look on her face is like, you guys are gay. It might have just been me. I thought it was funny. It had the expression like, haha, men doing emotion. That's cringe.
We have yet to have a wow, and I'm getting annoyed.
They literally said that they're not doing a wow.
Why?
Because it's a meme and they don't want to reference memes in the real world. But he did say how that one time. That was pretty
did
close
hear
to
that.
a wow.
It was.
Yeah, no. The director literally said that there isn't. He does not do the wow because that would be he's an actor actually playing a role. It's not Owen Wilson. So going into this next episode, who do we think is in that castle? Like the actual person who made the TVA. What are we thinking it is? If you say Mephisto, I will freaking rip your entrails out.
I will fist you!
There's no evidence of that at all.
Mephisto confirmed.
Colin,
He's in
bend
that
over. My
costume.
arm's going up.
Colin is now a puppet. I mean, you've been holding on to King the Conqueror for a while.
My gut is telling me that a version of Kang is the logical choice, but thematically, after this episode, I think it's another Loki.
It's evil Loki.
No, it's a good Loki.
Star-Lord Loki.
What?
I don't know.
What? Because the point is that they're not evil. They actually need to take control of their own destinies and be good if they want to be good, blah, 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 whatever. So why would it be an evil Loki? Why isn't it? It should be a good Loki who's just doing dumb things. He's doing an accidental fascism. Oopsies, all fascism.
I accidentally fashed all over the place.
Do you guys have anything on that? It's just
Not really.
I
I want big fire.
I'm actually, I didn't even think about that. It's just another Loki. Of course, I should have, because that's such an obvious choice. But it sounds like a good choice from how you're describing it. I'd be down. I'd be
with
okay.
The rest of the show, it would just be like, oh, another Loki did do this before, and he did like make a new timeline or whatever, and then decided that wasn't good for whatever
the reason
reason.
why there's so many there was like the timeline, like maybe some of the stuff in the TVA they were saying wasn't wrong, like there being like timeline wars. It's probably it's most likely just Loki's with each other through every single timeline, and so it's just a Loki at the end being like, yes, only one, because we can't have Loki's each other all the time. Sylvie and Loki.
But if they kiss, they make a Nexus event, so I'm down. I'm telling you, the show will end. They're gonna kiss or they're gonna and everything's gonna break. I'm telling you, that's where the show is going. That is going to be the actual multiversal break in the MCU.
We gotta get back on topic.
Wait, I got one more
No!
Yes. Sorry, Thor. The clap of my ass. I need it to be in the memes. I just need to say it right.
Pull it together, man.
I'm working on it.
Spencer.
Give him a bitch slap.
No.
Bring him on top.
No. I'm trying to get the phrasing right so I can say it correctly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brother Thor. I can't come save the multiverse. I'm busy clapping my own ass cheeks and splitting it apart.
See, I thought you were gonna say, I'm sorry, the clap of my ass was louder than...
I was trying to find a way to make that joke without...
thunderclap?
I was trying to make a way to make that joke without just doing the joke, you know?
Well, speaking of not being on topic, let's talk about Bad Batch. Because the Bad Batch was in this episode for about 10 seconds. And I was like halfway through the episode going, did I click on the right thing? Because I'm halfway through the episode and I haven't seen Bad Batch.
They're starting to show up less and less, and I noticed.
It's kind of weird.
I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's a nice break, because I like seeing...
It's a change of pace.
Because we're also seeing, like, characters from other shows, like Hera from Rebels. This is, like...
See, I haven't seen Rebels, so please fill me in.
Okay, so you know the main...
Mommy.
Shut the up. She's child right now.
I know.
So you know the female Twilight, the young child? With the droid?
Yes.
That's... What's his name? Chopper. That's Chopper,
Yes, Chopper.
And Hera. They're two...
You know, he spins around with his little
Another
arms.
great droid.
He is a murderous...
He's an asshole.
I love him then.
Then you'd probably...
You'd love
You'd
Rebels,
probably be
honestly.
able to stand Rebels then.
Oh, he'd love it.
Those two are main characters in Rebels.
Okay.
She's the pilot of the ship Ghost.
She's actually referenced in Rogue One over the intercom.
Yep.
I think you actually see Chopper in Rogue One, too.
Yeah, you also see the Ghost in Rogue One.
That is true. And you also see the Ghost in Rise of Skywalker, but we're not going to talk about that.
No. So, but, she's also the, like, love interest of, like, the Jedi trainer, who's not Jedi Master, because he's technically still a Padawan.
No, the Kanan, the guy, the Caleb, the Caleb boy, the guy that we saw at the beginning of this series.
Yeah.
That's his waifu.
Yeah.
Oh, waifu!
Yeah.
I love waifu.
I totally forgot we saw him in the first episode. Yeah, he's the main character in Rebels too.
Yeah, no, it's those two. They're like the parents of the group, also literally, and they actually have a really good book, like a canonical book. I like that one. But like, there's them, and then her dad was part of like the Clone Wars very heavily.
Yep.
Story time.
I actually shit my pants yesterday. Before work, I was in like regular clothes, but I was
man.
I was farting, and then I felt and I was like, oh come on! I'm like, what the? I'm a child. This is the second time this year I shit my pants. I'm like, what the fuck? I understand once a year at least, like, or at the most, but two? I shit myself twice this year.
So, a message to all of our patrons: pitch in a little bit, and we can get Colin some Pampers.
At least some clean, whitey tighties.
I need some Ben's diapers.
So, I actually didn't watch this episode.
What? What?
I know, right?
Whoa!
I
That's
know.
a first. You heard it here first, folks. First, Spencer didn't watch the episode. Why didn't you watch the episode? Did you just not have time?
Yeah, I literally didn't have time.
Shit.
I was in a busy day yesterday.
That's X.
And then I was here.
It's actually pretty good.
I was like, oh.
So you don't know what's going on?
No, I don't care.
Okay, so the main plot is basically just the Empire came to Ryloth.
Oh, we're back on Ryloth.
Yeah.
Yay.
The Empire came back to Ryloth. We are introduced to Chopper and Hera. She's basically kind of a part of the Resistance unofficially, while just doing some reconnaissance for her uncle, but gets
Nice.
caught by clone troopers.
Also, Sudden Snipey Boy is back with no pretense. He's just back.
Well, he's...
I'm back,
That's
baby.
true. He's just on Ryloth.
Yeah, he's just hanging out and decides to shoot the thing.
Yeah,
Pew,
his
pew.
troops are just on Ryloth. I feel like it feels like they're just going to like planet to planet, being like, "Yep, we're taking over," and
But there's no backstory. There's no explanation
Why
of
is
his
there?
movements. He just does things.
He just ends
He's
up
suddenly
somewhere.
there.
yeah. But besides that, the plot is basically just Hera's parents eventually committed treason, trying to get Hera back because they were going to imprison her for treason for smuggling weapons onto the planet.
It's treason,
man.
And that's the only time we meet the
she's-
bad batches getting weapons from them.
What? 15 tops?
Probably.
Between 10 and 15?
She
I'd
seems...
say even younger.
No, I'd say 17.
Really?
I would say 17.
I think she's a couple of years older than Kanan was, and Kanan's probably 14.
Yeah, she's got to be like 3 years older than him, so
Something like
17.
Really?
Yeah, she seems 17. She
I
looks
mean, if
at-
she's doing weapon smuggling, then she's got to be at least 14, because that's when
And-
Leia started doing stuff.
That's true.
Leia's like, I barely hit puberty. Let's go smuggle some shit and liberate planets. Based woman.
But
Very cool.
but she also was like piloting the ship a little bit that they were driving. So
Zoom zoom. Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for Bad Batch.
Wow. Well,
How many more of these do we have, do you think?
it's
like
a 16 episode season. That
Yeah,
was episode,
we're-
what, 11? So yeah,
I
we
was
have
going
5.
to say 12 or 13.
11.
I don't remember.
11!
Fine!
So we have 5 more episodes.
Okay.
Yas! Wow, that's amazing.
So,
So glad
because
to hear that.
you didn't view the episode, Spencer, you can start us off on what you did this week.
Oh, me.
Hard pass.
So I read White Knight Presents Harley Quinn. Finally get to talk about it. So this was written by Katana Collins, and art was by Matteo Scalera. This takes place after Curse of the White Knight, and before the upcoming third entry into this White Knight saga. It's like 4 issues. It's between 6 and 8 issues. For once, I'm unprepared to tell you. So it follows Harley Quinn in the aftermath of Joker being dead. Spoilers, I guess, for Curse of the White Knight. And Batman being in prison because oof, and also being publicly outed as Bruce Wayne. So it's Harley Quinn and her children and her babies, the hyenas, obviously, because the hyenas are babies, just living life, and then she gets pulled into some crimes because she still has her wits about her, and she's still a very talented psychologist. So the cops are like, hey, we need help. This string of crimes is sus. So the villains are entirely original to this book. They are Harley Quinn villains, essentially. It's also set up for the future of where Gotham City is going. I won't spoil too much, but they're very Harley Quinn centric. They're very cool. It's very theatrical. The art is gorgeous. It's very, very similar to how Sean Murphy did the art for White Knight and Curse the White Knight, but it feels like it has a feminine touch on it. It just goes well with the territory. It's colored a little differently. It's a bit softer, but it still has that very angular, very strongly stylized style that I love. The character designs are all really, really cool. Harley gets a couple of new outfits. One of them is pretty freaking sweet.
Bonk!
Shut up! But yes, definitely bonk. The dialogue is really, really strong. Sometimes it doesn't feel as White Knighty. Like, the universe has its own established, like, writing style because it's Sean Murphy. And sometimes it doesn't feel totally in line with that, but I think it fits really, really well with this character as a spin-off title to kind of fill in the gaps. It's being written by someone who's never written a comic book before, and I think she absolutely killed it. It feels like it's very Harley Quinn-centric. She's a very attractive character. She's, like, out there being hot and shit, but she's also not, like, oh my gosh, look, she's so hot. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm a simp.
It's actually written from a female perspective about a female character being cool and doing their own stuff, but not being, like, bonk. And not being, like, weirdly objectified or whatever. And I really like that. It was cool. She feels like a human being. Holy cow, women are humans. Pretty new territory.
I didn't know that.
I know, right? And the relationship between Batman, or Bruce Wayne, and then Harley is really, really cool. Because they met before she was Harley Quinn and before Jack Napier turned into the Joker. I will not elaborate further. So there's history there, and then they're in this weird, like, she references him as Uncle Bruce to her kids, but it's also like, are you sure about that? It's a little will they, won't they sort of deal, but I like it. It's cute. They have a very nice, like, dynamic. They, like, touch hands on other sides of the glass. They do, like, generic romantic shit, you know. And then, one spoiler, I have to tell you. Only one. Jacob's plugging his ears right now. Fine, f you guys. It's really good. It sets up a very interesting trajectory for the rest of this series, but it doesn't feel like if you skipped over this book, you wouldn't understand Beyond the White Knight, the one that's coming up.
So excited for that.
Yes. It helps fill in a gap, or like a perceived gap, obviously, because the other book isn't out yet. We don't know exactly what's in it. It sets up things, but not in a way that it's a radical, like, redirection or like a huge dynamic shift or whatever. It just works well. It's nice. It's not quaint, but it's cozy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very big. I like much lots.
You like big cozies.
I like big booba. It's
That's what I meant.
close enough. I would put this at 0.1 less than the other two books, but for entirely different reasons. It's not as big and theatrical and Batman, but it's really, really good stuff for another character that I think deserves just as much spotlight, and it's done extremely well. And it's fun and action-oriented, and there's lots of punching and kicking and stuff. Also, one of the hyenas died, and it's very sad. That's a spoiler. You know.
Bitch.
So, Jacob, what have you been up to? Mr. Well, you didn't watch the thing, so you gotta go first.
Somebody by heart.
Maybe.
I did two things, and I'm going to do them really, really quick. You ready for this? I read Darth Vader 2017 to 2018, 25 issues, written by Charles Soule with an E. Mostly it's about Darth Vader hunting down Jedi scragglers after Order 66, because the Jedi must die. It's part of their name. The last few issues were about Vader building a fortress for himself on Mustafar.
Oh, yeah.
Over a spot that is strong in the dark side of the Force. It is a Force hotspot, you may say.
It's got good signal.
This series, it is acceptable. That's where the meme comes from, is this series. It's an enjoyable read, but I really don't have too many thoughts on it. The art's fine. It gets you by. It looks good for the most part. There's a couple of clunky things, but it's really hard to do Darth Vader. I can understand that. It's black on black on black on black, so it's good. The story's fine.
Darth Vader is clunky.
Hunting down Jedi. Speaking on black on black on black on black, I read the first 4 issues of Alien 2021 from Marvel.
What brought your attention to this?
I don't know. It was just a random, somebody at work said this is going to be a big deal. You should buy like 100 copies of number 1. I was like, I don't know about that, but I'll get 1 issue of number 1. And then just kind of kept getting them as they went out because I figured the first issue wasn't going to be able to be read by itself. So the next issue comes out in a week or 2. It's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson and penciled by Salvador LaRocca. Retired badass is sent to a space station that has lost contact with Earth, because of course it has, to collect a quote-unquote specimen, and also save the life of his now adult kid, who was up there and probably caused the space station to lose contact with Earth because he's a terrorist or something.
This sounds like one of the 2 Alien plots that are acceptable. Either they are going out there and then they touch things, or they and then they all die, or they're there to rescue someone from the thing.
Right. It's
Wow.
kind of like Event Horizon, which is one of my favorite space movies ever.
Seriously?
Fight me.
Wow. It's not bad, but...
It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies ever.
Wow.
Partly because I embrace the camp and cheese and whatever.
More cheese, penguin, eh?
Spaceballs is better.
Yes.
Spaceballs is the superior
But
everything.
for a different reason. The art is great, except for the aliens, who are freaking awesome. Amazing detail to the aliens. The aliens are excellent. The story's doable.
Wow. Aliens. I really am sad that we never got the Neil Blomkamp Alien movie. That was the one I was really excited for.
Say that last name again?
Neil Blomkamp. He did District 9 and Chappie. But District 9... Have you watched District 9?
Oh, Chappie.
I have. At least most of it. I have
He
not
was
seen
shot
Chappie.
down by Ridley Scott because Ridley Scott's a scumbag. He's an arrogant ass.
Did not know that Ridley Scott shot him down or whatever. But
Yeah, no, he was the reason why it never got made, because there was like ongoing main series, and then Ridley Scott's like, I'm gonna come back and do more stuff. And then the
I'm gonna
studio's
make
like, we're gonna
freaking
do
6
both.
Avatars in a row.
That's James Cameron, but okay.
Crap.
Derp. I think they're friends, probably.
I'm pretty sure
They're probably
are.
friends with Michael Bay, too. I don't know.
The 3 of them own the Hollywood underworld.
They are the Hollywood elite. They are controlling our minds with microwave rays and turning the frogs gay.
Colin, what have you done this week?
I want pictures of Spider-Man!
I don't think I've read anything this week.
All right, question time!
Oh, yeah, baby.
Which is a more practical weapon for Harley Quinn? Is it the mallet or the baseball bat? Which is, I guess I should say, which one is better? Which one's your favorite and why?
So, I like the mallet because it's more iconic. It's one of her first weapons.
Yep.
And it's just, it gives better contrast to her. Also, it's really funny seeing her with the giant-ass mallet, and she's just this tiny thing.
And she'll kick your ass with it.
And she'll kick your ass with it, and I'm fine. But a bat makes more sense, but it's not as fun. And also, whenever there's a Harley Quinn with a bat, it's like, it's associated with a story that's really bad most of the time.
My contention with the bat has always been, what makes her different with a bat than any other goon in Gotham
Yeah.
carrying a bat or a crowbar? Like you said, the mallet is more iconic.
Mm-hmm.
And she still kicks ass with it.
I like the mallet a lot more.
I agree in terms of aesthetic, but I like the bat in terms of the comics because it, generally speaking, is associated with her going out on her own and having her own character growth, and like that's her thing now. The mallet was what she used to do. I like that, like thematically. But I mean, yeah, the mallet looks cooler because it's funny. It's a big mallet with this little really long handle.
She shouldn't have a bat. There's this weapon, I forget what it is, the blunt weapon. It's basically a long ass bat, but it has these round metal points on it all over it. It's just they're not pointy or spiky. It's just round metal pieces on it, and they are like one of the most like bludgeoning weapons in the planet.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a medieval weapon.
Yes.
I can't remember what that thing's called.
I don't know what it's called.
That would just be a straight up murder weapon.
Yes, that's kill you in one shot weapon.
Yeah.
Penis.
It's a studded penis, basically.
Would not. I'm sure she would whoop ass wielding a giant penis or any size penis.
It's just a big dong that she's slapping dudes with.
Just what are we playing? Saints Row? Just like.
Oh my gosh.
I hate that game.
Same, but I can't get that image on my head.
No. Anyway, Jacob. Wait.
That's it?
Wait. Damn!
Damn, boy! That's the end of the show.
Damn.
Damn. So.
Damn.
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 Bye, Felicia.
Damn! Nobody asked you for your fucking opinions. So, thanks for listening to our content. Please engage. Give us a like, a thumbs up, a subscribe, a review, a recommendation, share, whatever. Help. The algorithm has us trapped at a very low number of views and no monetization, and we would love to make money because money is cool and it can pay for us to get more books.
Or more stickers for the Patreons.
Or just getting diapers for Colin.
I think I need the diapers more than I need the stickers.
Or we could use the Dark Knight Strikes Again and make you some diapers.
We could put stickers on your diapers.
I think we have a new plan. I'm going to add a new tier just for that. Yeah, so thanks for listening. Engage.
Engage. Engage. Engage. Engage. Engage.
Next week, we are going to be discussing Blade 2. That's 2 with the Roman numerals, which came out in 2002. I am greatly looking forward to it. Our discussion last week about Blade with no Roman numerals from 1998 went very well, and that was an enjoyable watch. And now we have Colon Man present to talk about vampires. So this will be fun. So tune in and give us more views, because money. You absolute degenerates. You nerds. You have no life.
We have to call out our simps and our partners.
True. That's good phrasing. So a big shout out goes to our patrons over on patreon.com/dimecomicbros. Wesley Eaton, Jeff Lawrence, and Business Casual. Thanks, guys, for paying for Colin's diapers. He needs them.
Thank you.
If you want to check out our Patreon, we do have lots of content over there. You get some exclusive clips from the show every once in a while. Just some content that gets cut out because it's really, really irrelevant, like when Colin and I start talking about freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as well as some art here and there, and you'll get stickers and all sorts of other fun stuff. Some behind-the-scenes updates.
I have a great big outtake sitting on the hard drive right now. I'll probably take care of it this week, where we tried to rank the Star Wars movies.
Oh yeah, you did clip that whole thing out.
Our Patreon exclusive.
That was horrible.
And it turned into a war and an argument and a battle. There was blood everywhere. It was disgusting.
That was a good 30 minutes.
We can upload this soundbite of everybody dying before we smoothed our shirts out and covered the wounds and came back and gave you like a one-word answer.
Yeah. And then a big thank you to our partners over at Jetpack Comics. Thanks, daddies. Yeah.
Booze Cruise at the end of the month!
Yeah, this month is still Friends of Jetpack month, so there's lots of events and deals going on. Hop in there, tell them that we sent you. or just tell us that they sent you to us, maybe? I don't know. Grab some of our business cards, share our stuff everywhere, talk to them. They know who we are because we don't have lives and we hang around them a little too much. And we're a little clingy. I'm mostly talking about myself here.
You are clingy.
I know. I'm literally on someone's leg right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal. Don't worry about it.
Colin, get out from under Spencer's ass.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh my God, Colin!
Yeah.
Let's try not to into the microphones or touch anything.
I love how you say let's try not to and like every time you speak, it's a very much like escalated part in it. Oh, there's me.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm actually
That's a
really
pretty birdie.
Burb.
Very pretty burp.
You remember the red, like the cardinal that's just like, yeah. It just looks right into the camera. You remember that? Fucking meme.
I do.
Good meme. How do you know what that is?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just exist.
I am meme lord.
Meh, meh, meh.
I wrote a blog post a while ago about why I f***ing hate video games, because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
Sam
them
getting married and having kids and being happy like an ultimate Chad. Let us move on to something with actual quality. Let's talk about Loki.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 5.
I didn't know where this was going. Which is, I believe, how I...
And then you so now we gotta wait. That was
So
good.
sorry.
That
That
was
was like
good.
a scratch in your leg.
Now he's horny.
Ew, no!
Foot fetish.
I just got... Stop it! Oh, last toenail scraped my leg.
I know.
I'm gonna go Joker. No, like...
I'm gonna go Joker your balls.
No, it's like,
Colin and I are both on the random bullshittery go page right now.
Compressor can't fix broken dick. Jeez.
But it can compress it.
Oh yeah, flatten my dick, daddy.
Yes.